Why does it so now it's good. And it can't Once again, 5,000 technical difficulties all plague me at once. It's fantastic. Okay, let me figure it out. Why is this not the link I gave? Hang on. That is the one. Why would YouTube I don't understand. Why testing? Okay, my chat went through. Why is your chat not go through? I don't understand. Why would your chat not? I have no idea why your YouTube chat isn't working. Well, okay, the sound's good, but you still can't do comments on YouTube, right? I don't know why YouTube is being dumb. I don't see any other comments either. I see mine. I don't see your comments. I have no idea why YouTube is being stupid. It's the right video ID. Oh, okay, now you got it. Okay. Okay, now you can comment. Good. I was like, why is everything being dumb today? Okay, anyway. So stupid. It's always something. It's really annoying. Oh, then I forgot to turn the video back on. Hang on. Criminy. Okay, hopefully now things are okay. Crapping. So stupid. I can't even. Streaming should not be this hard. Why the bleep are there always technical difficulties? I don't understand. Yeah, the reason you couldn't hear me before, my streaming software decided it was going to use a different sound source. Why? Because reasons. I didn't change anything, just reasons. Decided it was going to pick something else. Okay. It's so annoying when it does this. I hope it doesn't do this on Halloween. This is so annoying. Okay, anyway. I want to strangle some people sometimes. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so based on your suggestion, Kiss, so we're going to try over here. My thought had been look for copper wire like in a garbage bin or something, right? Because I don't know, like you can't realistically, okay, you can't clip wire from a live electric circuit, right? You're going to electrocute yourself. So I've got to kill the power somehow if I'm going to... See, there's this string of lights.
Huh. I won't be able to take the whole light chain, but perhaps I can cut out part of it.
Oh, that's what it had been last time. I had unscrewed or whatever one of the bulbs, so the lights went dead. And then I think I tried to grab it, and he said I thought he had said it was out of like he was too high up, he couldn't reach it. Yeah, so this is what you do. This is that's right. That's you're absolutely right, Kiss. That's what we need to do. I should have done that, but I could have sworn it said maybe I just heard it wrong or something. Wasn't fully paying attention when he said it. I thought he said it was too high up, but that's why I tried to climb on the dumpster. And I was like, well, we can't climb on the dumpster, so all right, there we go. So that's it. You're right, and that was, I totally should have seen that. I just thought he was saying it was too high up, right? Because the lights were working before. I had
All right then.
taken a bulb out.
There's no choice. I need the copper wire.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me about that, Kissa. That was a thing we could do. I would not probably would not have remembered it. I might have wandered the whole 2 hours today and not found it potentially. Um. Okay. So the last thing we needed copper wire, a compass, headphones, and I don't remember what the last thing he needed was. Let's go really fast and see what the last thing is. Make sure we get the last item. He's gonna say no, and then he'll tell us the last thing is.
You got everything?
No, not yet.
Well, get going. Metal tube, bare copper wire,
Metal tube.
headphones and compass. Not much time till 1800.
I've got a cable here. Will that work instead of a copper wire?
No, you'll have to strip it.
He's getting his wire strippers, I assume. Or maybe not.
I'll cut into the plastic insulation and pull it back carefully. And now I have a real nice piece of copper wire.
Okay, that's actual copper wire. Metal tube. Let's use your cane. Can we use your cane? Is that okay? You're not going to have a problem with that, right? I mean, it's for saving a girl, right? No? Fine. Fine, you old coot. Okay, a metal tube is the last thing. Trying to think where a metal tube would be. Can't go to the hotel anymore. I mean, we could go outside, but it's not... I think we already looked at that, right? Outside the hotel, this thing, right? But there's no metal tube there. We've already looked, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, nothing there. And then inside, no. Okay. We're going to find... tube. I don't think there's anything in here. Right? She doesn't have like a map or a poster in a tube, right? Or a flag tube I could use? No. Yeah, shut up, Rosie. I don't want to talk to you. Stupid Rosie. Stupid Hobbit. Anyway, one of these legs on this I could technically probably use. I don't think it's going to let me, though. It's probably not going to be for this.
The cops could have at least brought the sign back in with them.
Yeah, nothing there. There could still be something in the backyard, I suppose. I just don't... Let's look. I don't think there's anything back here, but maybe. I do not think this would work, even if we could select it. Because that's going to be solid metal to hold the... I think. It could be hollow, I suppose, but I wouldn't expect so. No, no, no. Can't do anything with the bike to get a hollow metal tube either. We had that. Oh. Oh, I could grab the metal bar out now. I didn't realize I could take it back. Yeah, let's do that. That'll work, probably.
That'll be just right for the directional transmitter.
Alright. Alright, so now we can do it. We got all the stuff.
Here are all the things for the direction finder.
Very good. I'll build it up right away. But, first the theory. You take the receiver down to the coast, somewhere near the hotel. You turn on the radio, I'll set everything up, and don't fiddle with it. Then you turn the antenna slowly and listen for where the Morse code signal is the loudest. Look at the compass and write down the bearings and degrees where the antenna is pointing.
Good.
I'll do the same here with my receiver. Then we'll plot the bearings on this here map. Transmitter's located where the lines cross. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now let me get on with it.
Was he actually a... Anyway.
Let's see.
I'll shut up. I was going to say, was he actually a... an officer? Because if he wasn't, he doesn't like to be called sir, right? Yeah, so it's there, I think, for sure. So was that 74 degrees? What? Oh, that reset it? That's not what I want. And then... What is... I thought I was supposed to click something else, right? I was supposed to... I thought I was supposed to write down the degrees, but I don't have a notepad or anything. So I don't know how I... Oh, do this maybe? Let's just do this. Exit out.
I'll try again.
Okay. So exiting out apparently doesn't work. Or I need to do it multiple times? I don't know. Oh, see, that just always resets if you click. Okay. There we go.
I got it. Back to the junk shop.
Maybe I was slightly off, and so the red button wasn't
Ian?
something I could access.
You have a
I don't know.
bearing?
Yes, sir. Bearing at 73 degrees.
Very good. My bearing is 90 degrees. Go on. Plot the bearings.
Let's see. Your shop is here, and you had a bearing of 90 degrees. I was roughly here. This damn... Of course!
What is it?
A boat! Boris has got a boat. That's why no one here knows him, and why the police didn't find him. The lines cross a few hundred yards from the coast, about 2 miles to the east.
Good work. Now you need a boat. One of those lobster fishermen owes me a favor. You can use his.
And what should I do with it?
Sail out there, of course.
And serve myself up for a fight with Reginald Boris on his ship?
Didn't you hear the message? He plans on coming back into town again tonight, looking for you.
That's what he said? Huh, I must have missed that.
You don't understand
Go on,
Morse
then.
code.
You don't get many opportunities to be a hero.
I trust the police least of all. I'd rather get hold of the evidence of Angelina's innocence myself. And this time, it'll all be watertight.
It's obviously not going to be that easy, but we'll pretend like it's that easy or something.
I don't know much about sailboats, but I think this thing is called the Boom. That's the thing that smacks unwary people on the head, knocking them overboard.
That's why it's called the boom. Maybe. I don't know how it got its name. This is what you rotate out when you're going to extend the sail. So this goes in whatever direction you need for the wind to catch it, so you can move your ship. You don't want it this way because that'll blow your ship sideways, right? But you want it, but you will angle it sometimes, somewhat, right? So if the wind is going like this, you'll angle it some like this, so that you still get some propulsion forward, right? The wind will propel you forward. You can die on the boat. Oh, well, I guess I should save it then. I guess. It's no, that's good. You didn't tell me how or anything. That is probably good to know, so I don't have to redo. I have been saving as I've gone along, but I would still need to go get the wire and the tube again, and then have the conversation, and then do the direction again if I didn't save it here. So that's good to know. Thank you. Appreciate that.
A wooden paddle that looks pretty heavy. Why would you need something like that on a sailboat?
Smack somebody upside the head?
It's clearly too unwieldy for me.
Is it clearly too unwieldy for you? I don't know about that, but
I'd rather leave it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a paddle. It's not like you're carrying a big Zweihander from a Final Fantasy game or something.
Life jackets, a lifesaver, a few ropes, a buoy, and a gas can. Nothing of use at the moment. Life jacket, nothing of use.
Okay. So nothing at the moment. All right. No, that's the same.
Nothing of use.
I was over here, but I guess that's the same. Okay. Lower deck. So can't use the paddle, can't use anything in the box, and I'm not going to use the boom right now. Let me make sure I'm not missing something, but I think I'm just going to go below decks now. It does make sense that there could be some risk here anyway, right? Because, I mean, your mentioning that was good, Kissa, because that made sure I saved it. But it does make sense that you might die here. Because what if Boris said he was going to go into town, but he didn't actually go into town? And he would be here to contend with, right? That could be a problem for me. So, yeah, I don't see anything else. Let's just go. And I can't. That's my inventory I don't want. I can't go down here. Yeah, okay.
The lamp is screwed to the ceiling. If it was just lying around somewhere, it might fall over in rough seas. A frame sheet of handmade paper. You can hardly read the writing, and there's some kind of wildly painted lines over it. The road to El Dorado is written at the bottom. Isn't that in South America? A frame sheet of the road to El Dorado.
Yeah, that's okay.
A flip-up seat with a lock on it. I need to get the lock open first. The lock doesn't seem particularly strong, but it's still a problem. Nah, I'm not gonna get any further without the key.
Okay. That's the seat again. Okay, back out of that. Drawer.
The cupboard looks like it's made of burl wood, but it can only be really a thin veneer, otherwise it'd be too heavy and expensive. Alright, a few maritime maps, tools, screws, and measuring instrument, A key.
Okay. Laptop.
Let's see.
Hey, Alejandro. Remind you of the old Sierra Online
Wow,
games? Yeah.
This is a cool model.
Totally.
What have we here? A file titled Willow Creek. I don't believe it. Why the hell does Reginald Boris have pictures on his computer of a place where my mother regularly receives money? Something very strange is going on here. I'll take it with me later. First, I need to find some more clues to what's actually going on here. What the hell? What links Boris with Willow Creek, and what's my mother got to do with it?
Folder.
Cardboard folder. It looks really new. There's an A on the front. Huh. At the front of the folder is a small piece of transparent foil with lines on it. Strange. I'll take it with me. What else have we got here? Photos of Angelina. Some of them are clearly quite old. She can't be more than 13 or 14 years old in this one. Here she is as a kid. Huh. A note. New York, Boston. Perhaps that's her route? Yes. This proves that Boris has been following her for a while. I'll take the folder. They're photos of me. They're all from yesterday, me walking around town. This is me leaving the store. And here I am going to the hotel. And here I am with Angelina in the diner. Huh. That picture's been taken through the window. That Reginald fella must have been creeping about the whole time. Huh. I'll take them. Even though they'll probably be of no use.
But this is a point and click game. So in a point and click game, if you could take it, it's of use at some point. So you're wrong. I hate to break it to you, Darren, but you don't know what you're talking about.
The pictures of a big sailboat on a stormy sea. Maritime romanticism. There are hinges on one side of the frame. A safe. Hopefully it contains a few answers.
Yeah, if only I knew how to open the safe. I didn't get...
There are various photos of Angelina in this file, and a few of Boris.
No, that's all just Angelina information.
Those are the photos of me and Angelina that Boris took. Kinda strange. I never noticed anything.
Don't think this is going to be something for the safe. That key is going to be for here, I think, right? Should be. And then this. Here.
Aha. That must be the ship's power generator. I guess the batteries are normally charged using a cable at the harbor. The generator's probably just meant for emergencies. Better not now. Better not now.
I see.
Better not now.
I guess this whole thing. Not going to use a screwdriver, I guess. So I want to do something with the safe. The road to El Dorado. Maybe any places on the map maybe that reflect something with the safe? Probably not, but...
A frame sheet of handmade paper. You can hardly read the writing, and there's some kind of wildly painted lines over it. The road to El Dorado is written at the bottom. Isn't that in South America?
Wildly painted lines. Would that match these, maybe?
It might fit. Let's see.
Let's see. You have lines. Also turn it, rotate it, maybe? Let's see. Hmm. Hmm. I here now. On top, that I missed this bottom thing. I think it's supposed to. So this obviously doesn't match up, but I think we're supposed to get something connecting these lines, the ends of these lines, the ends of these lines, the ends of these lines, here, and then maybe up to there. Let's see. I don't know what we're gonna get. This is too long to have something connect to it from what I have, but. It's not quite match up. Huh. None of these quite match up, so maybe that's not what we're doing. But if that's not, then...
The foil fits perfectly. It shows a route around the southern tip of Africa. The route is southwest, south, southeast, east, northeast, and northwest. The picture and the foil together must give the solution to the safe. The route is southwest, south, southeast, east, northeast, and northwest.
Make sure I did not write any of them down and correctly do it one more time.
The picture and the foil together
Southwest,
must give the
south,
solution to the safe.
southeast.
The route is
East.
southwest, south.
Okay. Okay, I got them all right.
Here's a windrose that you can turn. I guess the idea is the same as with Fuller's safe. But unfortunately, I don't have a stethoscope with me to listen to the mechanism.
Okay, so it's southwest. I see. Okay, southwest. Then south. And southeast. No. No. Hang on, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's wrong. Bail. Bail. Must bail. That's wrong.
Nothing.
Let's do it again. Okay. I don't know how I said it the second time, but... Let's see, southwest, south. Southwest. Then south. Then southeast. There we go. Then east. Then northeast. Then northwest. There we go.
That was the right combination.
And a ring of some kind.
A ring with an eye-catching symbol on it. Looks a bit Celtic. A tree or something. It's not gonna help me, though. A floppy disk. Labeled with Biddeford and today's date. That looks more like a clue. I should have a look at what's on it straight away. If the disk doesn't contain any critical information, then I have to keep searching. Either way, I should get a move on. I don't know how long Boris is gonna stay on land.
Okay, we'll save it here. So I've done enough. Let's save it here. He's going to show up as I'm leaving, I bet, or something. And then it's going to be I have to do something within a certain amount of time or I die. Because, like in the first Black Mirror game, when you come out of that mine, there's the wolves in the forest. And you have to act against the wolves before, like you only have a couple of seconds. If you don't act, then the wolves kill you. So
Damn, what's wrong now? The battery's dead, and there's no electricity on the boat. Alright, let's see if I can do something about that.
So now I use the generator, which means I'll try to use it. There won't be any gasoline, probably.
Huh. Completely dry. I need to pour in some gas.
I'm going to go up and then he'll be there. Okay, I'm going to get ready. No, okay. He didn't show up yet.
Somewhere here was... Yes, a gas can. I'd rather leave it. It's clearly too...
The only thing I can think is either this or possibly the boom. If he's up here. I don't know. And I don't know how I would do the boom, because you need... Normally you have a winch or something for that, and I don't see one here. Just the navigation wheel. Oh. This here.
All right. Ready for the next try. Very good, but also quite loud. Hopefully no one can hear the noise on land.
Yeah.
Huh. Let's see if there's anything on this disc that'll shed some light on what's going on. Mrs. Michaels' medical records? What the... Mrs. Rebecca Michaels. Second and third degree burns on the hands, arms, and legs. Fractured back, partial cervical fracture, blah blah blah. Due to a bad fall. This entry is from 1973. Right after the car crash. Or rather, an alleged car crash. What does Reginald Boris want with my mother's medical records? Does he know her from her time in England? I'll deal with that later. Let's try and work out the Angelina thing first. Angelina. Hey, Fuller's store. And there's someone standing in the shadows. It's Mr. Biber. He must have found out about the blackmailing and then lost it. And there's Angelina. She's going into the store. Oh, this is the proof. Fuller was already dead when Angelina arrived at the store. Boris saw that Biber had murdered Fuller, then he must have called Angelina and then the police afterwards. Why did he get her arrested? Was she in the way? In his search for... my mother? Or me? Huh!
Good evening, Mr. Michaels.
You! Stay away from me!
That's very difficult on such a small boat, wouldn't you say?
What do you want from me?
It's all very complicated, believe me. But we'll have enough time to clear it out. We're both going on a little trip.
I don't think so.
Ah!
Damn it!
Ah!
Whew. Got him. Got him. I was thinking he didn't like the paddle anyway, so let's do that
It was
last.
really brave of you to take that guy on.
Yeah. Well, I actually had no other choice.
If you say so. Most important thing is the disc was still okay. You saved me.
I just wish they'd caught Boris.
He'll resurface soon enough.
I should have got back quicker, but the boat wouldn't go any faster. We still don't know what he actually wanted from us. And if you fly back to England on your own, who's gonna watch out for you then?
Oh, it's nice of you to worry. But I've got to go back. And Boris seemed to be after you and your mother, right? Nothing's going to happen to me.
I still wish you'd stay here. Or that I could come with you.
We've been through this already. You have to stay here with your mother until she gets better. You can come and visit me in a few weeks. By then I'll know more about the mysterious Willow Creek.
What? What do you mean?
I'm going to investigate. Willow Creek, Reginald Boris, about the time your mother was at the castle.
Listen to me. You are not gonna do that. Please, keep out of this.
But I'm a historian. Digging into the past is just what I do. Don't worry, Darren. I'm going to miss you. Anyway, I know who could save me if I get into trouble.
Aww. The budding romance. She's gonna investigate? That's not a good idea.
Darren,
Huh?
they just called from the hospital. You should get over there straight away.
My mom.
I've still got the photo and stuff. Why do I still have this stuff on me? It's days later, too. Just shove it in my pocket and carry it with me all the time. Okay. I wish he'd move a little faster, but I did it this way so it's like he's running. Mom! But
Mr. Michaels, it's, the doctor would like to speak to you.
Has something happened?
Just go through, please.
Darren,
Where's my mom?
Your mom's heart failed this morning.
What? No, that's impossible.
I really am very sorry.
Mom!
Hello, this is Rebecca Michaels. Unfortunately, I'm not at home at the moment. Leave me a message and I'll get back to you. Darren? Darren, are you there? He's here, Darren. Reginald Boris is here. I went to Willow Creek. I couldn't resist. Please forgive me. I found out a few things about this place. It seems there's something like a conspiracy here, and I think Reginald Boris is part of it. I saw him today, and now... No, go! Ah! Darren! Help me!
Hello? Hello? Angelina!
just one thing right after another. Poor guy. Yeah. Yeah, I do not know what's going on with YouTube. Not showing emojis and stuff, I'm not sure. I have this set. It should show emojis. I made sure it's not blocking them. Biddeford, Maine. We're doing the Indiana Jones thing, heading over to... Well, we wouldn't go directly to Willow Creek. I'm sure there's not an airport in Biddeford or Willow Creek. But...
We're there.
Are we take a ship? What's the water?
So, this is it. The one and only hotel in this godforsaken place. I had to change trains in London and then sit for another 45 minutes in a cab. And now here, I'm in the middle of nowhere. The village of Willow Creek itself is a bit further down the road. But I ought to take a look around here first. Angelina must have checked into this hotel.
Yeah, I don't... I wish I knew what was going on with that. Why it's not showing emojis. Okay, just save on top of that. It's fine. Yeah, probably look at stuff out here. It's possible something out here will be important.
A large bird bath made from imitation marble. It's full of water and I can't see a damn bird for miles. Now, does a bird bath in a land where it rains constantly actually make sense?
That's a good
I
point.
can't see anything interesting. And the basin is much too heavy to move.
He says that about England, but the Northeast America is not much better. It rains all the time there too. Depends on where. If you get far enough south, like New York and stuff, it doesn't rain all the time then. But like my understanding is, I've never actually been there, but my understanding is like Connecticut and Rhode Island and Vermont, Maine, those all are pretty rainy. But I don't know for sure. I could be wrong.
A wet, uncomfortable, and somewhat shabby-looking wooden bench with the paint slowly flaking off it. The bench is wet. I'm not sitting there. A big heap of wet leaves. A gardener must have raked them together from off the lawn. That pile's not been here for long. The leaves are soaking wet on the outside, but they look drier underneath. The rain hasn't made everything wet through.
Yeah, I don't... Hang on. Give me a second. But I have gone through the settings. I do not know why it would have a problem. This thing would respond halfway fast. But I have to wait. It's stored on a hard drive, so it waits for this hard drive to spin out. Okay. Options. Hide menu bar. Obviously, that doesn't apply to emojis. Magnify the view. Make the font icons and menus smaller. Compact mode. No space between name and the message. Force transparent background. Make entire message partially transparent. Light mode, dark mode, green page background. Okay. Hide messages after 20 seconds. Messages start at the bottom rather than the top. Messages drop down. These are not things I have selected. These are all the options available, okay? Messages appear randomly on the screen. Messages align to the right side. Force right to left text reading. Stream events fade up and away after 3 seconds. Beep when there's a new message. Text to speech incoming messages. Do not say says or someone says in text to speech. Include any stream events when using text to speech. Do not read out chat name when someone says when using text to speech. About flags? I don't know what you mean by, I don't know. I don't remember what I said about flags. I had said something forever ago in like the shop of the guy next to Fuller's where you could get where I thought maybe a metal tube, or not that shop. It was the souvenir shop where I thought, well, if I bought a flag, maybe there's a metal tube the flag is in. That's the only thing I remember saying about flags, though. Do not read out. Okay. If using text to speech, clear current text to speech. These are things that don't apply. Auto select new messages. Reload last 15 messages when refreshing the page. Auto select is on. Select donations. Auto select is on. Select those for members. Multiple docs to stay in sync. That's to select messages. Only see pin messages. View only. Mode. View chat only. View pin and queue. View. Okay. None of those have to do with emojis. Most of this, I think one of those only I have currently on. Okay, visibility. Hide source icon. That's like stuff like YouTube and Twitch and stuff. Hide those icons, okay? Show channel icon, hide avatars. Neither of those is marked. Hide timestamp. I don't want to say, like, at this time, Kissa said I just hide the time, right? Hide badges is not selected. Use first names only, not selected. Delete names entirely, not selected. Color names. Increase message history to 200. Show only last message. Filter out message with bad karma. I don't even know what that means. It's not selected. Alt keyword filter will match name only. Only show messages marked as questions. Hide messages marked as questions. Strip HTML from messages and donations. It's possible that's it, but I wouldn't think so. But maybe the emojis are done as HTML. There's stripped text-based emojis from messages, but I do not have that marked. Let me remove the HTML. The problem with HTML is somebody could put a link or something, which is bad, right? But if HTML is stripping out the emojis, that could be a problem. Let me look at other stuff. None of this stuff. Make emojis larger, but that's not marked, and it also doesn't matter. It's just making them bigger is all. Content larger. I didn't think about that. It's possible the emojis are done through HTML, in which case that would have been blocked. Maybe that's why. Okay. Any changes you've done where you're trying to do, like where I've made a change, it's not yet going to happen. I have to refresh. Like I have to give a new URL. So let me do this. Okay. That clears the chat out, unfortunately, but now if you do emojis, see if maybe that will give you something. Try some emojis now if you could, and let's see if they'll show up. There you go. So they do. Okay, so that's why. We found out why. We found out why it wasn't working. Apparently on YouTube, the emojis are done as HTML. And so the consequence is if I strip out HTML, then the emojis don't show up. But if I strip out HTML, that also runs the risk of like links and stuff. I guess there's another setting, I think, for bad karma. Maybe that has to do with that. I don't know. Well, I'll just keep an eye on it. If someone starts spamming with HTML, I think when I lost my chat settings like 3 times ago, and I think when I tried to recreate them, I took that off because I thought there was a risk, but obviously that turns out to be too much. It does too much. So let's just leave it. We'll just, if there's a problem, there'll be a problem, I guess. Okay. Was the last thing you said on this?
Pile's not been here for long. The leaves are so...
Rain's not made everything wet, though, but that's okay. But that's okay. Anything more over this way? Yeah, a little bit more. Might not be able to do anything with these, but conservatory.
A steel-framed conservatory. It's quite obvious that it's a newer addition to the rest of the building. There's a few tables and chairs in the conservatory. I would imagine they use it as a dining room. Right now it looks deserted.
Okay. I don't see anything on the side either. Nothing in the windows. Or up here. Okay.
The hotel lobby's in there behind the tall windows. Very grand for such a small country hotel.
Now, you had asked, what did I say about the flags? I don't think I clicked the flags yet, if that's what you're talking about. Let's look at them now, though, and see what he says.
3 flags hanging here. England, Great Britain, and the European Union. The last one's gotta be there, just for the foreign tourists. Ugh. The flags look like they've been hanging there for years. Pretty stained and bleached out. Makes a real nice impression. Huh. The words Gordon's Palace have just been simply printed onto the awning. Cheap. The awning offers a little shelter from the rain at least. Mind you, it's still unpleasant standing here outside when there are dry, heated rooms waiting inside.
Yeah, cry me a river. You're the one who said you should investigate stuff here and look around. Don't whine when I look around at stuff, okay? Ivy there I can look at. Let's see if there's anything in the windows here. No. Nor the lamp. This flag up here. Also not going to look at this one, apparently. Okay. So I guess I'll go to the right here some after looking at the ivy and see if there's anything more to the right, but I think we're just about done outside.
Wow. The ivy must be at least 100 years old. It's already climbed up the whole building. Shame that I don't have to secretly get up to the first floor. The ivy would be an ideal ladder substitute.
This all goes to Willow Creek, so I'm not going to do that right now. Yeah, if you're in a more tropical setting, a liana is the equivalent, right? A liana is a rope. Is rope-like vine, like hardened vine or whatever. So that'd be similar to the ivy, using it to climb up. I think that's it outside. Oh, okay. Well, if you think of more details that might help me know what it was, maybe I can say it, but whichever, it's fine. But just let me know if you think of more where you think maybe I could remember that way. I don't remember saying something about a flag, but maybe I didn't. I just forgot.
Oh, a new guest. Welcome to Gordon's Palace. My name is Murray.
Hello. I'm looking for a young woman who's spending some time here. Maybe you've seen her?
Yes, maybe I have, but maybe I haven't. You have to understand this is a discreet hotel. I can't talk about my guests.
So, she's a guest here.
As I said already, a discreet hotel.
Almost dead, one could say.
It's off-season right now. It'll get busier. This is the best hotel in Willow Creek, and a place with history. This was once the sanatorium of the dreaded Robert Gordon, the Dr. Frankenstein of Willow Creek.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. He was the uncle of Samuel Gordon, the maniac murderer. Everyone thought squeaky clean Sir Robert was a respectable doctor. But in reality, he conducted illegal experiments on the sanatorium's patients. Very nasty goings on.
And then someone thought it would make a great hotel.
Of course, of course. Immediately after the murders 12 years ago, the tourists came in throngs. They wanted to see everything. But where could they stay the night? There wasn't a hotel. So, I bought this building. The patients were taken away straight after the incident, of course. Some also escaped. So, anyway, I bought the house, had it renovated, and now it's the best hotel in the place. How many nights did you say you wanted?
Actually, I just wanted to know if you've seen this young lady. Her name is Angelina Morgan.
Now, I can't talk to strangers about guests. The hotel's reputation, you see.
I see. And if I were a guest myself, then...
Then, of course, we could have a little chat about who else has a room here at the moment.
Alright then. A room, please. For, let's say, 2 nights to start with.
Very well. That'll be £90.
How the crap is that still discreet? A guest? I mean, it's bribing, basically, is what it is, right? But, like, oh, you're a guest, so then now I can tell you all the personal information of others. That's not discreet. The frick?
So, what about Angelina? Is she here?
The young lady checked in here a few days ago. Room 13, right next to yours, sir. However, I haven't seen her since yesterday morning.
Thank you. Room 13, that's down this corridor?
Yes, sir. Your room is number 12. You do, of course, understand that I can't let you into the lady's room. As you know, the hotel has a reputation to uphold.
Huh. This takes me a step closer. I know Angelina was here. Perhaps I'll find some clues as to what she found out, and who didn't like it. What's that castle out there on the hill?
That's the famous Black Mirror Castle, ancestral home of the Golden family. There are few buildings here that have a history as fascinating and blood-soaked.
Why, what happened there?
What didn't happen there, more like? Every imaginable abomination. Murder, torture, witch burning, dark rituals, devil worship, everything.
Yeah, sure. And that's not just what you tell the tourists to make this place more interesting.
Well, perhaps it's not quite that bad, but what the people say is true. That castle is cursed. That much is certain.
Cursed.
Just look at the Gordons. An ancient family that's gonna die out. One blow of fate after the other. The latest events alone. Around 25 years ago, there was a fire in the castle, and Master Samuel lost his young wife in the flames. 12 years ago, the eldest Gordon committed suicide. He jumped from the castle tower. After that came Robert's murder and Samuel's suicide. The last surviving Gordon is Lady Victoria. She's already about 90. When she dies, one of the oldest families in England dies with her.
Sounds like bad luck, but not necessarily a curse.
It is. The castle is cursed. It makes the people crazy. How else are you going to explain one Gordon after the other completely losing it?
Some mental illnesses are hereditary. And if it's an old noble family, incest may also play a role.
Yeah. Or natural radioactivity, poisonous groundwater. That's all far-fetched. It's a curse. Everyone knows that.
He's like, oh sure, that's a thing. Inheriting madness is a thing. However, despite what science has proven, curse is much more likely. Okay, bro. I mean, obviously in the confines or in the mythology or whatever of this game, or this series of games, yes, obviously it's a curse. But I'm just saying, I do think it's funny that, like, he's like, science. It's a curse. That's obviously what's going on. See, if this hotel concierge were a Gordon, then I could better understand and be like, well, yeah, obviously he speaks from experience. He's seen the cursing going on. But somebody from the outside, why would you I mean, I guess if you're superstitious, you might jump to curse for sure, but I'm just saying, like, the more rational explanation, if you're hands off, not part of what's going on, would be that it's probably some kind of inherited madness, right? Which Darren, from his experiences, is an outsider. Now, obviously, he's tied somehow to the events of what's going on, but in his experiences, he would for sure be an outsider's perspective, and so it'd be like, scientifically minded, of course. Yeah, the guy is pretty hilarious. I like when Darren first comes in, he's like, "Oh, look, a guest." It's like, dude, calm down. Like take it down a couple of notches. Back up and chill. Calm. Okay, now let's speak. He was a little too excited.
What can you tell me about this place?
Willow Creek. It's the nest in which I was born. Just like all the others you see around here. No one moves to here. Either you're born here and stay, or you're born here and leave. It can't keep hold of the youngsters anymore. They want to be in the city. The place is dying out.
Is there anything special to see here?
The museum, of course. I was significantly involved in setting it up. It's even on my land, which I've leased for a small, appropriate fee, of course. Go into the village. You won't miss it. We set it up once the flow of tourists dried up. You need to offer the people something, after all. We redesigned the rear part of the museum last year. Now it's got a lot more zip. It was my idea. None of the other people in the village have got any idea about business.
And?
You have to speculate to accumulate. You're not going to attract tourists with a couple of clay pots and carpets, are you?
How can you attract tourists?
With a show! You need to give them something. We've got 5 gruesome murders here, an old family full of maniacs, a dark curse. There must be some capital in that.
Doesn't seem to have worked all that well so far.
Alas, no. Many didn't get involved. Said you should let the dead rest in peace. We won't get anywhere like that.
Of course not.
During the first few months after the murders, it was looking really good. The papers wrote about our murders all the time. Loads of free publicity. They came from all over. Buses full. But then, well, the hype died down.
Ooh, how tragic. Hey, perhaps a couple of people should be killed every season. Then you'll get more press.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. You haven't invested all your savings. But I'll have the last laugh. This place is gonna be on the up again.
Unfortunately, I think he's right. He's like, forget about honoring the dead. We need to make money. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if he's put his life savings into it, obviously he's going to stress about loss of revenue. I mean, that's understandable. So, I mean, it's fair, right, to have him worried about it.
What did you say this building used to be?
The old Ashbury Sanatorium. The legendary, the gruesome, the unfathomable sanatorium of the crazy Robert Gordon.
I see.
Sir Robert was Samuel Gordon's uncle on his father's side. He lived in the castle and was, of course, like all Gordons, completely insane. He conducted experiments on the patients here in the sanatorium. Illegal experiments. Terrible experiments.
And no one noticed?
He mostly did it at night, alone. He only had one accomplice in the village, Dr. Herman. Both were murdered before their schemes were uncovered. But strange things have been happening since their deaths. People claim to have seen spectral apparitions in these corridors, and sounds that come out of the ground.
Sure, and that's probably written large on the front of your flyers, right? A couple of ghosts would surely be good for business. It's just a shame it's absolute moonshine.
I love that, like, say, Darren asks something, and then the concierge starts answering, and then, after the concierge says something, Darren's like, and then waits for the BS to continue as he's like, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
What else can you tell me about Angelina?
Don't know. Nice girl. Seems to be out a lot. Always went off for a couple of hours, then back to her room, then out again.
Did you notice anything? Was she nervous? Afraid?
No, not really. She seemed to be a bit stressed. Tense. And always in a hurry. That's just what young people are like.
Did you call the police when she didn't come back last night?
Why should I? She paid up front. Everything's fine.
Oh yeah, everything's fantastic. She might be bleeding to death in the woods or in the hands of violent kidnappers, but she paid up front.
Calm down. Nothing will have happened to her. Absolutely nothing's happened here for 12 years, unfortunately.
Darn all of those darn all those breaks from terror and evil. If only there would be fewer breaks and more destruction and chaos.
Couldn't you perhaps give me Angelina's room key?
If you buy the hotel and let me retire, then we can talk about it.
And if I forget a 50-pound note on the counter, would you go outside to look at the pretty pictures on it in the daylight?
Young man, this is a quality hotel. I can't and won't allow its reputation to be damaged.
No one will notice. There's not a soul here.
You can't bribe me, and that's that.
Thanks for the chat, Murray.
My pleasure.
Murray, that's his name. And to be fair, on that very last point where you'd asked about Angelina, while I can understand Darren's frustration, like, because he doesn't know what's going on with what's happened with Angelina, and he's really worried about her. At the same time, Murray has a great point. If you're the owner or concierge or whatever of a hotel, and somebody pays for like a week up front, they go in and out, regularly, but they're gone for varying periods of time, right? If they go out and they don't come back over the next day, you probably assume they know somebody in the area. Maybe they decide to stay at their place for a night or something. You're not going to assume something untoward, right? It's not automatically some mischief is going on because they didn't come back. As the hotel concierge, you just make sure people pay, and then they leave when they need to leave, and that they get the service they need to get while they're in the hotel, right? So, like, it's understandable Murray would not pay attention to any of that. So, Darren getting all frustrated, like I said, it's understandable because he's all worried about Angelina. But to be fair, the concierge shouldn't know all of that stuff, especially if he claims it's a discreet hotel. Would you ask all of your customers their business? Well, now, what did you do from 12 o'clock to 12:05 when you were out front talking? What exactly were you doing? No, obviously, you're discreet. You don't want to get in other people's business. That's the point, right? So, anyway.
A whole row of old-fashioned lockboxes. Although they're only made of wood, they look like they're still tricky to break open.
I don't know why you'd be thinking about breaking them open already, but...
A whole row of old...
Okay.
A stand with what looks like tasteless postcards from tourists. They show either pictures of the village or blood-stained knives. Here's one with a screaming woman on it.
They're just all terror postcards because of what happened.
Huh. Willow Creek. I was here and survived.
Of course.
Willow Creek makes your blood freeze. Willow Creek, home of murderers. Unbelievable.
That is pretty funny, actually.
You know, I can never be bothered with most postcards. But here's a card with a drawn map of the area showing the murder locations of 12 years ago all marked out. I could use the map to help me keep myself oriented. I'll take it with me.
I'll put it on your bill.
Of course you will. Obviously.
What the? A cheap plastic mask of Samuel Gordon. Toy knife with blood-stained blade. And the worst thing is that you can bet that some of my fellow humans actually buy this stuff. And what's this thing supposed to be? Huh. The original soul key. Summon dark forces and scare the pants off your friends. Lights up in 3 different colors. Gruesome sound effects. Hellish fun. Batteries not included. I can't get my head around it. I'd rather chop my hand off than buy this plastic crap from China and speed up global warming and the demise of mankind. I'd rather chop my hand off.
Yes, I don't know. Maybe something else will happen and then we'll have a need to get in there because we can still select it. So it's kind of like that the scales in our mom's room when she was still there, right? The whole time up until we actually needed to take it down to the morgue with us. It was had the icon to grab it, but you couldn't do anything with it. So
A classic dark brown leather armchair. The arms are worn somewhat. It's seen better days for sure. Until I found Angelina, I don't have any time to rest. Murray seems to have just been eating something. I'm guessing that he's the only employee in his hotel, so he can't just go and leave his position at the counter to go and eat. The knife hasn't been used. I'll take it. Maybe I can still find a use for it.
oh, it's a butter knife. I was gonna say if it's like a sharp knife, which makes sense it'd be a butter knife, but I was gonna say if it's a sharp knife, maybe that's like a weapon for later if we need it to defend ourselves. But
A bottle of schnapps. Maybe I could grab it while Murray's not looking.
I thought, I missed the first. But this is a game, so everyone should ask everything from everyone. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean that's the first game was not funny so much as just very mysterious and full of intrigue. Right, this one's a lot. His attitude makes stuff a lot funnier than the first one. Yeah.
Voila! A bottle of alcohol.
For when I drown my sorrows later because we failed Angelina. It's understandable.
It's probably crockery that was intended for the guests. I can't see anything special about it.
Okay. Trolley.
That's one of those things they use in big hotels to carry cases on. I find it rather hard to imagine them having hotel porters here. If at all, that thing was maybe used during the first months when the place opened. I'd like to bet it hasn't turned a wheel since. The weather still hasn't got any better. It's just been raining the whole time.
Oddly, although it was overcast in the first game, I did not rain all that often. There were a couple of times where it rained, but generally it was not raining. I guess it was a good season for weather or something at the time.
An old-fashioned telephone. It's probably meant to be classic, but to be honest, it's just old. A whole row of old-fashioned lockboxes.
Wait, that's not.
Who should I call?
Okay. It doesn't have it. It just says Murray instead, but you have the little bell to ring for service. You just go up to the counter. You're looking him right in the eyes, and you're like, ding, 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 just to get on his nerves.
One of the keys belongs to Angelina's room. It's number 13. but I can't get my hands on it while Murray's standing at the counter. Angelina checked in here and is staying in room 13. The guest book probably can't tell me much more. Even if there was something interested in the guest book, I'm sure Murray wouldn't give me a look. The hotel's reputation, you understand? Oh, man. Even if there was something, the hotel's...
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Plants, sure.
A big house plant in a hefty flower pot. No idea what type it is. I know nothing about them. I can't find anything exciting. The plants don't look all that happy. But like I've said, I don't know much about either botany or the psyche of plants.
Think that's everything in this room? In the hotel lobby? Other than talking to Murray again, but I don't think we have anything else to say right now. Oh, maybe. Oh, the soul key.
What's that then? A soul key?
They are powerful, magical artifacts.
Sure they
After
are.
the murders 12 years ago, the police seized documents from the castle. Amongst them were also pictures of these soul keys. Samuel Golden must have been nigh on obsessed by them. The police believe that Samuel had several of them.
Perhaps the devil himself gave him the order to do it.
Perhaps. What's for certain is that he killed for it, and that the keys, assuming they ever existed, disappeared when he committed suicide.
And what has that got to do with this plastic trash?
That's no trash! Do you know how expensive it was to produce thousands of these and ship them here? Pal, that cost me a fortune.
Thousands! How many have you sold?
Put it this way, I won't need to reorder in the near future. Even though they're so fantastic. They even light up when you put a battery in them.
Oh, awesome. Thanks for the chat, Murray.
My pleasure.
His dialogue is just dripping with disdain for the whole capitalist idea. Listen, Darren, don't take this the wrong way. The backpack you got, capitalism. The clothes you got, capitalism. The watch you're wearing, capitalism. Anyway, I'm not going to get on some big political rant or something, but I'm just... Don't knock the system if you're using it actively, regularly, and with anticipation about stuff.
Room 13. That's Angelina's room. And that's my room, number 12. First I'll get rid of this rucksack, and then I need to find a way to get into Angelina's room. That's better.
Oh, and I will add one final point. Just in case anybody decides later to come at me about what I just said about capitalism. There are problems in the capitalist system, just like there are problems in any system. I'm not making any pro or con, like anti or pro capitalism thing. I'm just saying the hypocrisy or the irony of his going on a rant about that while at the same time actively using stuff that comes from that system. That's all I'm saying. Don't come at me in the comments. I don't want to discuss politics or social stuff like that. I just am saying his words don't match his actions. That's all I'm saying. That was the point. Just want to be clear, because some people sometimes I'm like, okay, but you're not understanding what my point was. I'm not trying to say this X and anyway.
Strange. The wall doesn't look like it belongs here. Looks temporary to me. It's pretty dark back there. But it looks like the passage simply hasn't been renovated.
Oh, is that going to go back to the cells where Robert had patients? Ooh. I thought when not from the outside, I don't think, but when I entered the lobby of the hotel, I thought it looked familiar, but I couldn't place it. And now since Murray explained the renovation and stuff, that makes more sense. And so this might very well end up going back to some of the cells where he had held inmates or patients. I mean, they technically were patients, but the way he treated them would have been more like inmates, right? So, um,
I'd like to guess that this wall's been put up just to prevent the guests in the front part of the hotel from being disturbed while the restoration work's still going on in the back. Perhaps Murray ran out of cash, or he saw that he didn't need any more rooms. Whatever the case, the renovation didn't get finished.
it is strange though if he didn't finish it that you've got these boards here still. You'd think he'd brick it up or something so it would look nicer if he didn't want anything going on back there. Of course, that said, if he bricked it up, it'd be more work and expense to break the bricks down if he later renovated it. But still, having these boards here doesn't exactly look very good in terms of trying to present a nice hotel. But that's whatever. It's fine. So that's all the walls still. It's probably the same, right?
No. I don't think there's anything of interest waiting for me back there.
Not right now. Hopefully later. That would be kind of cool to see the stuff that was left behind, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. Don't see anything else on this side other than Angelina's room itself, which obviously I cannot get in right now. There's the pot. So there are a couple of possibilities. Possibility number one: I find something here that lets me, or somewhere else in the hotel that lets me get into Angelina's room, like maybe something to pick the lock, or maybe something. I mean, kind of yikes, because later it could be found out easily. But maybe something to break through the wall from my room into Angelina's room. That's possibility number one. Possibility number two is we do something because he'd mentioned it to distract Murray, like get him to go outside or something, and then when that happens, we nab the key. However, we already did that with the hotel in Biddeford, right? We already distracted that concierge by putting breadcrumbs on the veranda, and then all the seagulls came, and then he went out to take care of that. We nabbed the key. So I don't expect we'll do that twice in the game. Maybe we will anyway, but I would expect probably this solution is going to be different than just distracting Murray.
A wooden clock with a glass cover and some carving on it.
Some carving on it. I wonder if we can read the carving or something.
Huh. What's that? The clock's just an imitation. It can't be wound up. Probably a cheap electronic clock with batteries. I can't get it off. It's screwed on. I need a screwdriver or something like that to get it off the bookcase.
We have the knife, maybe.
Yep, that's how it's done. I've got him. Two 1.5 volt batteries.
I wonder if we put one of these in one of the soul keys or whatever. Like, walks around with the thing, beep, 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 and somebody actually mistakes it for a real soul key, and so is on his ass at that point, like totally chasing him down. You got a soul key? I need that. I will kill you for that soul key. Calm down. It's just a toy.
Let's see. A few crime stories, poetry collections, fairy tales, horror stories. Just the thing for a relaxing night in a hotel. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have one of those. A whole load of good books. But I don't know how they're supposed to help me in my search for Angelina. A whole load of good.
Okay, so maybe at some point, although this doesn't have a grab icon, so it might just be a thing we can consistently, regularly examine just for the description if we want or whatever. I don't know.
There's a newspaper lying on the glass table. Maybe a service for the guests. Oh no, can't be. The paper's already several weeks old. Probably so little going on here that Murray hardly ever gets back here to tidy up. Nothing's older than yesterday's paper, but I don't have to read it. I think I'll just take a few pages.
I mean, newspaper could have tons of uses, right? You can use newspaper as like fodder. If you had like an older style flintlock pistol, you could use it. If you are cleaning a window, you could spray your window cleaner and then use the newspaper to wipe to help clear it off. Yeah, I mean, you can use newspaper for a ton of things, right? Obviously, if you fold the newspaper multiple times, you could very briefly pick up something hot and move it and not burn yourself. Who knows, right? There are a ton of uses for that, so it makes sense he could take a couple of pages, even if he's not going to read them.
The idea is very much that you sit yourself in this armchair, read one of the books from over there, while quietly smoking a pipe or a cigar. Judging by the ashtray, it looks like that hasn't happened for some time, though. It's sparkling clean. There's only a box of matches lying in it.
Yeah, or just read it, right, obviously. But he said that the news is so old that he doesn't really need to read it. That's what I'm saying is like, okay, but you don't have to read it. You can do other things. But obviously, yeah, the number one use of a newspaper would be to read the news that's in it. Correct. I mean, there's a reason it's called...
Dice matches. Sounds like there's still a few in here.
There's a reason it's called newspaper, right? It's a paper where the news is printed so you can catch up on what's going on. Yeah. Doing the lantern, the pictures. Already looked at the armchair, or, well, the ashtray. We didn't look at the armchair. We just looked at the ashtray, but... Candles. Okay. It is still technically possible. We could use the same, I mean, not the same, not exactly the same, but we could use a similar trick in both cases, technically, right? We could light the newspaper on fire with the matches somewhere, and Murray panics and runs out, and that's his distraction, and we nab Angelina's key. That's possible, for sure. Paper is a different part for use. Yeah. So I put the paper in the alcohol and then I light it and then I have a Molotov? Could be.
I might as well pour the alcohol into my pocket.
So no. In other words, no. He's like, so I'm just gonna shove the newspaper in the schnapps, really? Fantastic. Good planning, bro.
That's my room. Like all the rooms here, a converted cell. It doesn't really feel all that friendly, and it's rather uncared for. Apart from the price, there's nothing much here that's first class. I'm not gonna allow myself a nap while I still haven't found Angelina.
I didn't know. Maybe you go inside and do something in your room. I don't know. Don't come at me, Darren. I'm just trying to find out what's going on in the game, okay?
Angelina's room's locked. I need to get hold of the key somehow.
Yeah, and there's, other than something like looking at the bookshelf again, there's nothing we've not already done in here. So we are going to have to distract Murray, it looks like. So let me think what part 2 of the plan is going to be then for that. Can't do anything with the plants.
I'd rather chop my hand off than...
No. So we're not going to put the batteries into one of those soul keys. So there are the leaves that are not dry. So maybe we burn those, and I put the paper in there to help start it. As kindling, basically. Do you really need it with dry leaves in the middle, though? If some of the leaves are dry, you shouldn't have to get kindling. They'd be just
I've
fine.
got the crumpled newspaper in the middle, next to the leaves which aren't so wet.
Oh, aren't so wet. So they are still wet. Okay, then yeah, you would obviously want the newspaper. I thought they were not wet at all in the middle, and it was just the outside that was wet. Okay.
The newspaper's lit. The leaves next to it are just charring. They're not gonna burn. They're too damp for that. Why should I pour away the last good drops?
Okay. Okay, so no. Battery? No. The battery would explode if you got it hot enough. I've been forgetting to do the camera the last few times, few things. Do I care so much? No, not really. Okay. Oh, maybe where the hotel name is or sign? No. Okay, I don't care. A little. I care a tiny little bit, but not enough to waste time on it.
Murray, there's smoke outside. I hope the hotel isn't gonna burn down around our heads.
Bugger! Oh!
He's so gullible.
As long as Murray's outside putting out the fire, I can take Angelina's key unnoticed.
You just walk all slowly around, like Murray is not going to potentially come back at some point.
Now we'd like to have that. The key for room number 13. Hopefully I might find some evidence of Angelina's whereabouts in her room.
Don't mind me. I'm not walking around with a key I shouldn't have. It's fine. Nothing's going on.
Those little brats. They've no idea how dangerous that is. They should...
the young are really bad.
He interrupts him. Why? I'm gonna hurt him now. I wonder if that means at some point we'll go into the Black Mirror Castle. Probably. I mean, this is Black Mirror too, right? So, probably at some point. This is not like Gordon Family Curse. This is Black Mirror. So there's probably some tie to the castle again.
Nothing special. A typical hotel bathroom, like you can find all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, I was confident we would. I can't imagine we would not, so.
Let's see. A few clothes hangers, a clothes rail, a few drawers. Everything empty and squeaky clean.
I mean, the fact that it was mentioned that Victoria Gordon is still alive would tell me there's probably still, some point we maybe will go talk to her or at least investigate the castle or something. Like she might die during this one, and then we investigate what happened to her. Somehow ties into other things. They do mention, like Murray did mention, that the last of the Gordons was around, but in the first game we visited the cousin. It was like the great aunt or whatever, right, of Samuel. So Samuel had his grandmother, like his grandfather died at the beginning. He had his grandmother Victoria, right? And then he went to, was it Wales or something, for that other castle or other estate, right? And he talked to cousins and stuff there, I thought. Now, I don't know if they have any children from that side of the family, and so maybe they're all died out or something. I don't know. But my point is, I think there might still be more Gordons than just Victoria. But I don't know. Cousins don't equate to Gordons, right? Maybe they're cousins on his mother's side, and so they don't have a bloodline tie to the Gordon family. I don't know.
Also, when I look inside again, the robe's completely empty.
The robe? Okay, but people don't normally put things in the pockets of their robes unless they know they're going to grab them later. Like, probably the same night or regularly each night or something. So I don't know why. When he says robe, maybe he's talking about the wardrobe. Because the wardrobe is the whole thing. But I have never... Maybe it's just because of me. I'm from the west coast of the United States originally. So I live more like in the Denver, Colorado region now, but I'm not in Denver, but I mean like in that mountain area. But I'm originally from the west coast of the United States, so I don't know if, like, I'm from near Seattle, Washington. So if, I don't know, maybe that's an East Coast thing? Could be a Britain thing, but why would he adopt British slang if he's from New England? But it's fine. Anyway, I think that's what he meant though. When he said the robe is empty, I think he meant the wardrobe. Yeah. She was a sweet lady.
Heavy and very old-fashioned bedspread. There are woolen threads around the edges.
Victoria was a nice lady. She was a sweet lady. It's unfortunate that pretty much everybody she knew died, though. I mean, was it William? I think it was William. Anyway, the grandfather died, and then Robert died, and then Samuel died. I mean, like, all her family is dying around her. Poor lady.
I can't take the cover, but I can take the wooden thread as a souvenir. It wouldn't be the first time something like that had come in useful. The bed looks old-fashioned, but not uncomfortable. I'm rather tempted by the idea of a couple hours on it. I've been on my feet for more than 24 hours now. But I really can't allow myself a break until I've found Angelina.
Not to mention, if you're gonna sleep, you've got a room. Sleep in the room next door. Don't sleep in her room, and then Murray comes in later for whatever reason, dusting or something, and catches you. That'd be a bad idea.
Here's a few sheets of writing paper. Now, did Angelina make any notes about her investigations? The paper looks completely unused. I won't find anything here.
Okay, I don't see any, so we're not going to do a trick where we, like, put a paper on top and use, some charcoal rubbings or something to get things to come through to see writing. So that's not going to be a thing here. So I figured I'd click again just in case you said something like that.
A thick-walled but relatively squat glass. You'd normally be drinking a drop of the hard stuff out of this kind of glass.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect you to. That's kind of why I was explaining, being somebody whose native language is English, I would not... I lived a few years in the Netherlands, and I would also not pretend to be any kind of to be knowledgeable on, like, why words in Dutch are used in one area and not in another and stuff. So, just because I have experience in an area wouldn't, but because I am natively English speaking, I have some degree of understanding in that. That's why I figured I'd point that out. But it's not important. It's just interesting.
A thick-walled but relatively squat glass.
Okay, so that's the same thing. Nothing changed.
Interesting. Several cut lemons. And there's a sliver of wood stuck in one of them. She didn't eat the lemons, that much is clear. Lemons and a sliver of wood. That rings a bell somehow.
I mean, you normally could use a sliver of wood, like a toothpick or something, to poke and eat fruit. Like sometimes you'll get a serving of fruit like strawberries or something, or possibly maybe some cut melon or something, and you use a toothpick to serve yourself instead of something like a fork or a spoon or something. I don't think that's what he's saying here, though. With a radiator.
A white-painted ribbed radiator. The heating's lukewarm. I don't see anything that might be significant. What's that? One of the pictures I took of Angelina. That's gotta be a clue for me. So it is. There are a few white notes on the back of the picture.
Ah. Smart lady. Of course, you can kind of tell that from the conversations in Biddeford Darren had with her, too. I mean, she's a historian and stuff. Somebody who's a historian is not going to be a dummy. They're going to obviously be a smart person, so.
A completely normal tube TV, like most folks have at home. Should I sit myself down in front of the TV and wait until I see ghostly messages from Angelina in the white noise? Maybe not.
His mockery does not cease. It's hilarious.
A little cupboard. Looks rather like an antique. And inside there's... Sleeping potion. Now could that be Angelina's? Maybe she was having nightmares from all that business. What the hell have I gotten her into?
I mean, it is a fair question. Depending on what's going on, especially not just what happened there, but then what she's found here in her investigations. Like, if there is a curse, which, based on the first game, we assume there is, right? So if there is a curse, she could have started having, like, night terrors and stuff, definitely.
Strange. There are 2 sheets of writing paper, folded twice, but there's nothing on them. Either it's a secret message written in invisible ink, or the empty pages themselves are some kind of clue. But right now, though, I have no idea myself.
Lemon juice could be used, but I guess not, because we can't access it anymore. Let's see. I don't want to burn them, so that's probably a bad idea. He'll probably say that it's a bad idea too, though, if I do that, right?
Let's see. There.
Oh,
you
no.
can see a
We're
black
good.
script. Of course, a real old trick. Angelina must have used lemon juice to write with.
Yeah, that's why
The
they're here.
heat makes the clear juice turn black. Ouch! Damn it. The match is burned out and there's only a tiny corner of the text that's turned visible. A few words have appeared in one corner. It's the place warmed by the heat from the match, but there's too little to make sense of it. I need the whole note, and to do that I need to warm the citric acid. But how?
We do this? No. That in there. Then light that on fire, and as that slowly burns, then above it you can do the paper.
The glass is half full.
No more schnapps. Okay, now fire.
That can't work. No matter if it's rum or whiskey. Even if it was meth. I need a small controllable flame. I'm missing a wick.
I see. Like the thread.
Great. The woolen thread is acting like a wick and soaking up the alcohol. Looks like I've rediscovered the world's oldest artificial light source.
Now we do this. Yeah, just say what comes to mind. It's exactly right. That's as I play games. A lot of times I comment on the game itself, but I might comment on some weird random point like the language or something used in a game. It's just a thought that occurs to me. I just kind of stream of consciousness as I play. If you guys, I know you like it, Kissa, because you keep watching, and that's great. But some people don't. And, you know, so if anybody watches this and they don't like it, it's, you know, no harm, no foul if you don't watch any other stuff I do. But I just, that's kind of how I play games. Now, when I play on my own, I don't say it out loud, obviously, but I think it. So I do the same thing. It's just when I am streaming, or if I'm recording an upload or whatever game for like YouTube or Twitch or wherever, Odyssey or Kick or whatever, then it's just how I play normally, except I vocalize my thoughts rather than just keep them as thoughts. Yeah, life belts. Yeah, I mean, you know, different vocabulary in different areas. That's one of the great things about the modern world. There are a lot of terrible things about the modern world too, but one of the great things about the modern world is that there are so many connections everywhere. We learn all kinds of stuff we would have missed otherwise. I'm sure in all the, like in the couple of decades growing up into adulthood, I would have heard life belt somewhere if it had been common where I lived, right? But it wasn't. It took the internet before things like that became accessible, where it's like, oh, people say lifeboat, interesting, or whatever. Occasionally you might get that if you read a book that was written in another country, but it wasn't very common.
Awesome. My little fire's lit. It was working like that 10,000 years ago, too. Now what do I do with it?
It was working like that 10,000 years ago is just wasting time. Your fire's going to go out, dude. I mean, if this were real. Obviously, in the game, it's fine, but... No harm at all. Nope. I'm saying, like, I know that you enjoy that aspect of, like, that I think about things and I verbalize my thoughts, and so, because a lot of times it has to do with figuring out a game or something, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if there's ever anybody who has a problem with my doing that, not you, but if anybody else ever has a problem with my doing that, then that's okay too. I completely understand. I don't have a problem if you dislike that gameplay style, right? When I first started my channels, I did alternate voices and stuff. I kind of stopped doing those over time because it felt like it was kind of it was fun to do for a while, but it kind of felt like a gag that was kind of getting old. So I stopped doing them. Haven't really noticed a drop or an increase in subscribers when I started using them originally or not later. So I don't think it really matters.
So, let's see. At last. There's Angelina's message.
Well, thank you, Kiss. I appreciate that. Okay, let's read it.
Sunday, 1600. I don't know what's supposed to be so
special about Willow Creek. It all seems so forlorn, poor, and desolate. Hopefully I won't have to disappoint Darren. He's helped me so much, and I only now hope that I can help him too. Sunday, 9 p.m. That Porter Murray is a damned shark. He had money off me for every single bit of info. I'm not doing that again. I'll go to the library tomorrow, and there's supposed to be a town museum too. Maybe I'll pick up something there about Darren's castle.
Monday, 11 a.m. Black Mirror was built in the 14th century by the two brothers, Marcus and Mordred Gordon. The brothers argued and virtually waged war with each other. To this day, descendants of the Gordon line still inhabit Black Mirror Castle. They will, however, soon die out. The last young Gordon died 12 years ago, having committed suicide. Monday, 2 p.m. I've got something on the tree symbol that Darren discovered on Boris's ring. The symbol is mentioned in the Chronicle of the Gordon family. I also stumbled across it in the library. It's the symbol of a secret society, a kind of sect that wants to summon up dark powers and uses corpses in the process. What if Boris is one of them? Monday, 4 p.m. I found out in the pub that people believe there's a curse on Black Mirror Castle and the Gordon family. Maybe I'll change the topic of my degree thesis. I'd much rather write about accursed castles, though I can't see my good Prof. Hubbard being too thrilled about the idea. Monday, 9 p.m. He's here. Reginald Boris is here in Willow Creek. I've just seen him sneaking about the hotel. What should I do? Is he here because of me? Now, of all times, right when I want to investigate the passage. I'm not going to let myself be stopped, but I'll send off some insurance.
It's about to investigate the passage, so she actually got into Black Mirror Castle? Or maybe there's a passage in the hotel. Interesting.
Oh man, Reginald Boris. Angelina had been doing some research, and Boris had caught her at it. Now, he's holding her prisoner, and... does he want to lure me to him? In Maine, he wanted to take me on a journey. Is this all about me? Whatever the reason for all this might be, Angelina doesn't have anything to do with it. She's got into danger because she wanted to help me. It's my fault if something happens to her. I ought to go into the village and listen around. Angelina was there. But I need to be careful. I don't know who might belong to this order that Angelina warned me about.
I think Darren is incorrect. I think there might be... Well, I think he's partially correct, but in a lot of ways incorrect. He's making the assumption that Boris's stuff is going to be about him, right? Something about what Boris said about taking him on a journey and such. He somehow thinks it's all about him, also because his mom was from Willow Creek, right? Was a servant at Black Mirror Castle. However, here's the problem with that reasoning. There's some degree of that is true. But he had that whole folder on Angelina. Pictures from when she was like 13 and 14. Before she ever even met Darren, right? Before she even met him. So how could it be that it's all about Darren? There's no way it's only about him. Now, it might be about both of them. Right? Maybe there's some tie between them that they don't know also. Like maybe she was a servant or his mom was a servant in the castle, and Angelina has some blood tie to the Gordons or something. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, Boris's involvement is not just about Darren. It's obviously about both of them to whatever varying degree. So...
should I blow it out? No, better not. It'll keep burning away on its own, and the matches are all just about gone. I might need a light again.
Yeah, but here? Why would you need it here? Going to Willow Creek, we could do that, but what else? It might just be dialogue just for the sake of dialogue. I'm thinking what else, why else he might need the fire here, like to light something. I can't think of anything. I don't think that's going to be a thing, but we'll see. Um,
Angelina's message written in secret ink. Now the ink's well visible.
hey, Silua. Welcome.
Sunday, 1600.
Okay. Okay, he doesn't repeat the last part. So I think it is just the potentially the going into Willow Creek. I think I'm going to get nothing new with the toilet, although I'll try it again, and then I should probably leave. Like, I don't know how we're going to drop Angelina's key back over to the concierge's desk, but to the keyboard he has behind that, but...
I'm not gonna find anything interesting in the bathroom. The room is very small, and it doesn't look like Angelina's left me a message.
Yeah, not in the bathroom. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
There's nothing in my room that could help me in my search for Angelina.
Okay. There's nothing else out here. I'm pretty sure you said you're familiar already with this and have already played it, right, Silwell? So in that case, I don't need to summarize anything of what I've done. You'll know where I am. We've just gotten here to the old sanatorium turned hotel and done all this stuff up front and then gone into Angelina's room and found the clues she left for us about what she'd heard about the curse of the Gordon family and stuff. So that's pretty much where we've left off.
No. I don't know what I could ask Murray right now.
Okay, I think we're going into town. Let me save it before we get there. I don't think there's anything else I want to do out here, though. But just in case. Okay, that's what I thought. I remembered you had said it, so. Ah, yes, the old Willow Creek. Geez, rude. Why don't you just knock her books out, jerk?
We all know that old one.
What do you mean?
A young, attractive lady is carrying a stack of books and lets them fall at the feet of the hero.
Excuse me? I'm the librarian here, so it's quite right that I should be carrying books around the place. Young? Attractive? Well, I'll accept that. But why do you consider yourself to be a hero?
You're the librarian? Oh, then you can definitely tell me something worth knowing about this place, Miss,
Valley. You're American?
Miss Valley.
Darren Michaels. Do I really sound American?
Yes, you absolutely
yes.
do.
Now let me see. Your
You totally
accent
do.
is non-rhotic. That is, you don't sound the phoneme R at the end of a syllable, or before consonants. And you have hard A sounds. That's the famous Boston accent.
Awesome. I really do come from Boston.
I've spent half my life in books, so something has to have stuck.
So then you can probably tell a damn Yankee something about Willow Creek?
What do you want to know?
That's funny.
The castle nearby, isn't that the famous Black Mirror Castle?
It certainly is. Its inhabitants have influenced things around here for centuries. Sometimes for the good, sometimes rather more negatively.
How do you mean that?
Everything around here belongs to the Gordons. In the old days, virtually everything that went on here was all decided in the castle. Just what could happen in the village, and what could not.
And who lives in the castle today?
Lady Victoria Gordon, the last of the Gordons, her old butler Bates, and her late brother's widow, Lady Eleanor. I think there are a few other servants too.
Her late brother's widow, Lady Eleanor. I don't remember the name in the
That's
first
the
game.
obligatory village pub. It never was a great place, but since the old landlord left, it really has gone downhill. The new landlord is Tom, the chap at the chili stall. The fair will be here for a few more days yet, but I wouldn't bet that it'll be coming back again.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember if Lady Eleanor was so that. And again, I said Wales. I don't remember exactly where it was, but let's say that again. So when Samuel Gordon in the first game went to go visit like Wales or wherever it was, that other estate, not the Black Mirror estate, but the other one, I don't remember if that was Lady Eleanor, and then that gentleman that was there was the brother of Victoria. Might have been, but if that's the case, then that's not going to be on in the Gordon family line, right? Not the actual Gordon family line, if that's true, because that would be tied to Victoria, and so it would be on the grandmother's side, which is not blood, which is not Gordon blood, right? Unless it's direct descent from Victoria and William, it's not going to be Gordon blood. It's going to be Victoria's blood, family's blood. So.
Well, is there anything about Willow Creek that's worth knowing?
Not a lot. There must have been a settlement there for a good 1,000 years or so. They found remains dating back that far.
Yeah, a stone circle in a forest. So I've heard.
Yes, there's one of those. It really only kind of got going around the 13th century when there was a monastery built in the neighborhood. Also a church and the first part of a castle.
And more recently?
You're talking about the murders. That's 12 years ago now. Let's not talk about those.
Yeah, let's not bring up a bad memory. I'm sure it was terrible for most people in the village, too. Yeah, it could
Back
be. I don't
there,
know.
by the town hall, is my empire, the library. Perhaps it's because there's otherwise so little going on here. There are plenty of people who like to and who do read a lot. Sadly, often all the wrong things. Trashy stuff and the cheapest pulp lit are in high demand.
Yeah, I don't remember enough about Eleanor, and so that might be wrong. And of course, the location Wales. I just inserted it. I remembered it was not at Black Mirror Manor was all. I didn't remember where it was. They told us in the first game, but I just have forgotten where it was supposed to have taken place. Been playing Empire of Sin game. I borrowed from the library. Didn't notice time while playing. Oh, don't worry about it. You make it or you don't, right? I'm here. I'm going to be playing the game anyway. So, I mean, I figure I'll just do it online and let people watch. And if they don't, if they have something else going on, that they have something else going on. It's not a huge deal, obviously.
I'm staying at the Gordon's Palace Hotel.
Really? You're letting yourself get ripped off by that old so-and-so Murray?
The building is supposed to have had a terrible past.
That's true.
It would seem that all of the male Gordons were a little bit crazy.
The curse of the Gordons.
Please don't tell me you believe in all that hokum.
I never used to.
You English. You like your ghost stories and all that a little too much.
We won't say anything while we walk for
That's the
several
museum.
yards.
If you want to know more about Willow Creek, then that's the place to be. At least in the front bit.
What's in the back?
The newly opened Black Museum. Cheap special effects animation. Horror and titillation at others' expense.
Can you help me with the symbol? A tree where the roots reach around and up into the branches. That mean anything to you?
Where do you know that from?
You know something about it?
You ought to forget about it again as soon as possible.
I stumbled across it in Maine, and now I'd like to know if it...
Maine? You come... But you said Boston. I've still got something to finish. Good day.
Miss Valley, listen!
Damn, well, I guess I'm not going to ask her about this.
And she's gone. What was that all about?
I guess maybe next time I see her, I'll ask her about that. I didn't realize I'd have to choose an order. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay.
A big barrel. It's supposed to collect rainwater. Although it's always raining here, that barrel is almost empty. Seems to have a leak somewhere. Although it's all seems to have a leak. Willow Creek Museum. That sign must have cost the townsfolk quite a bit.
She got spooked. She got super spooked. That was interesting, though. He showed her the symbol, and she's like, "Where did you? How did you learn about that?" Obviously, she already knew before he even said he found it in Maine. He already knew something was going on, and obviously, once she said Maine, so she knows there's some tie to Maine. She knows about that. I don't know what the tie is, other than the fact that his mom moved there after having left England. But beyond that, I have no idea where the tie is, right? So that's interesting. So go inside there's the library, tower. I don't know, I guess. Yeah, while we're outside, let's look at all the stuff that we can outside without actually going anywhere, and then we'll... Yeah, but we're right by the museum. I'll just go inside here. That's fine. We'll look at stuff when we come back out.
The flight was supposed to be cheap, but the airport is in the middle of nowhere. Is a taxi here? Or it's more expensive than a private jet?
Calm down, Albert.
And on top of that, your friend's guidebook is totally out of date.
You were happy that we didn't have to buy one. No one could have guessed that so much would change here within a few years.
Yeah. Just shut up, okay?
Happy couple. We are German tourists. Do not bother us. We are busy. Hero's a terrible conversationist. Yeah, seriously. He's like, oh, and about that thing, wait, no, but I just said hi. Crap. What did I say? Funny place, huh? I mean, already just entering and you get like a nice little, oh, that's great. Oh, maybe I should stop and talk to him first.
A broken display cabinet.
Maybe not.
Nothing in it, of course. It says Black Ball of Destiny on the sign. Alright. I'm apparently standing right next to Samuel's corpse. Other than that, there's nothing here.
What? How is the Black Ball of Destiny supposed to be Samuel's corpse? He unalived himself doesn't mean that he... I'm so confused. But okay.
I don't really understand why there's a globe here. I bet most of the people here haven't even seen the neighboring village, let alone the rest of the world. A barrel, like the ones all over the village. I guess there used to be a blossoming barrel industry here.
Or, barrels contain stuff. So maybe they just kept using barrels because they already made them here and they use them to hold things. Barrel industry. Okay, sure, bro. That's a good assumption.
An old cast iron stove. Does that belong to the exhibition? I doubt it.
For all of his talking about the villagers only stay here and they don't go all around the world, they probably never even see anything. Sure, awfully is ignorant and kind of judgmental about places other than where he's from. He was judgy about stuff in in Maine, and now he's judgy about stuff in Willow Creek in the area. Now, to be fair, some people like Murray are kind of ridiculous personalities, and so okay, fine, but you judge like the whole town and stuff. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this Darren character in that regard. Overall, I like him, but that judgy attitude about stuff, I'm kind of not a big fan of that, but it is what it is. It's his personality.
Reminds me of my mom's tiled stove. I always felt good when it was cold outside and the wood was crackling in the stove.
And then an exit. Okay, so it's not the pipe or anything. Okay. Let's look at the brochure so I don't forget, and then we'll go to Bobby.
Postcards, brochures, and advertisements from Willow Creek. Here's some info about the library. Shame, the opening times aren't mentioned. And here are the local places of interest. This seems to be a tourist information office, as well as a museum. But there's nothing really interesting there.
Bottle of bubble mixture? Okay.
A small, colorful tube. Looks like bubble mixture.
I'm not sure. I've never seen bubble mixture. I don't know what bubble mixture is.
That's mine.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to have a quick look at it.
I guess we'll talk to Bobby since he spoke up when we did this. What's up, dude?
A god. He looks a bit simple-minded. Hi. Are you the god here?
Oh, hello. My name is Bobby.
Oh, hello, Bobby. I'm Darren.
Hi, Darren.
It seems nice.
Are you the god here, Bobby?
Yes, I have to make sure that everything runs shape here.
An important job.
Yes, Mrs. Puft at the town hall gave me the job because I'm so big and strong.
Of course. No one would mess with you, right?
No. I'm very happy that I can work here. Tom says I'm too stupid. But Mrs. Puff says I'll do a good job.
Tom, from the chili stand over there? Oh, you shouldn't worry about what he says.
But he's my brother. He looks after me, and I'm a big burden, he says.
What a jerk for a brother. He says he's a big burden. I mean, I guess if he gets upset, sometimes when you get upset, you say things you shouldn't say, but if he regularly calls his brother a burden, it's a total tool. It continues to the right. Yeah, we're working our way over there. It's a little bit at a time. I just want to make sure I don't miss something in the, being a point and click, every little thing could be important. So I'm trying to make sure I don't miss something as I go.
What does Tom do for you that makes you such a burden?
Oh, he does a lot. I'm allowed to stay at his place and help in the pub.
Does he pay you?
No, Tom doesn't have much money. He says I cost too much because I eat too much. But now I give him the money that I get here, then it's perhaps not so bad anymore.
He takes all of your money so you can live at his place. I don't find that fair.
It's okay. It's better than having to do those other things again.
What kind of things?
He used to make me help him doing bad things. I don't like it. I'm a god. Gods can't steal.
Tom stole things, and you had to help him.
Oh, no. No, I didn't say that. Oh, no.
Bobby, it's okay. I didn't hear a thing.
Thank you, Darren.
He was all worried. He's like, now Tom's gonna be all mad at me. Poor guy. Poor guy. Some people that have difficulties, various kinds of difficulties, like a stutter like that, or whether they're more, simple-minded, or however you want to describe it, right? They often are. Depends on their personality and what exactly condition mentally they've got, but very often they're just the sweetest people, and upsetting anybody, even if, let's say, Bobby here could totally destroy Tommy physically or whatever, I don't know, but even if he could, he's still really I don't want to upset him, because there's, like I said, they're really sweet people, right? They like, I love Tom, or Tom's a really nice man, and I just don't want to upset him, period. Doesn't matter that physically maybe he's outmatched for the person he might upset or something.
What can you tell me about the museum?
I think it's nice. I don't really like it back there, though. It's so spooky.
Do lots of people visit?
Yes. So sometimes 5 or 6 a day.
Has anyone ever broken in?
No, I keep watch.
Nights as well?
No, there's an alarm.
Yeah, I think, now to be fair to Darren, I think when he was kind of like stifling a little bit of laughter there, it was when Bobby had said that there were a lot of people, because Darren's probably like, that's not a lot of people. But for a town like this, that might actually be a lot. Who knows, right? I don't think Darren was mocking how Bobby speaks or anything like that, right? I'm pretty sure he was just thinking that 5 or 6 isn't a lot, but...
Tell me, Bobby, the cabinet back there, has it been broken long?
Yes, Darren. For 4 weeks already.
How did it happen?
I don't know. One morning I came in, and it was just broken.
So, someone broke in and stole what was in it?
Yes. I completely forgot about that. But it's not so bad. There was just a bowl in it.
What kind of ball?
A big black one.
Thanks for the info.
You're welcome, Darren.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. I've known several people who had varying degrees of mental difficulty. I've known people who've had Parkinson's. I've known people who've been Down syndrome. I've known people who have Asperger's, right? Varying degrees. So, yeah, it does depend on what they're afflicted with, because it does affect your ability to express yourself. Can, internally frustrate you. And so some people can be more like aggressive and easily upset just because they get frustrated, because always they're struggling with fighting their body's ability to do what they're trying to have it do or something. But very often they're amazingly sweet people. That's right.
About the black ball.
Yes?
Did the police come?
No. Mrs. Puft said they aren't interested in that.
Oh. Well, who is interested in it then?
Mrs. Valley, I think. She looked at it.
Thank you, Bobby. Alright, I'm out of here. See you around.
See you soon, Darren.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. Let's see. That's all talking to Bobby again. Yeah, let's look at the cupboard.
Eddie would have fun with this shelf. There are normal plates, painted plates, decorated plates, and glasses with soil. I don't really want to know anymore.
This was the dirt found at Black Mirror Castle. Don't. Yeah, I just thought of that. I don't know why we still look at the bubble mixture. It did upset Bobby. I don't think we want to do it, but let me do that again just to see what he says. He'll say it's his again, right?
A small, colorful tube. Looks like bubble mixture.
Yeah, so it's just gonna cycle through, and then Bobby will say, "Hey, that's mine. That's fine. We don't need to do it again. I wasn't sure
Looks
if we
like
get
a
anything
cross
more."
between a Roman chariot and a lawnmower. I study physics, not agriculture. I have no idea what that is.
There's not a sign or something to explain it, though. We could always ask Bobby too, but I mean, normally, like if this were reality, but I don't expect we'll have anything to ask him in the game.
And here you can see the world-famous milk churns of Willow Creek.
Yeah. Yep. It's yeah. Well, and a lot of times it's. I mean, I guess you could technically say that they are the problem in the sense that mentally and physically they don't always align the way they want, and so they get frustrated. Like they try, like for example, I know somebody who has like the left arm basically is not paralyzed, but is locked up, seized up, so they can't do very much with it at all, right? It's always like this. And so that like when you're talking to him, their arm is just always like this, right? So they sometimes he gets frustrated that his arm is that way. Or he also has a bit of a speech impediment, right? So as he speaks, he gets frustrated if he can't say things the way he wants to explain them, right? So things like that. It's understandable though. It's not a problem with him. Like it would be natural for anybody to get frustrated in a situation like that. But it is a problem with him, quote unquote, in terms of his limitation is what frustrates him, right? But it's not. It doesn't mean that there's anything like they're not a bad person or they should be treated badly or anything like that. It's just something that they have to deal with that is unfortunate. That my heart goes out to people who struggle with something like that, right? It's got to be rough to have to deal with that.
Yay, a treasure chest. I found the treasure. Now I'm rich.
So you don't think that's impressive. Okay.
That's just a stupid empty chest.
He really, really mocks stuff a lot.
An old telephone, like the ones they used here in Europe at the beginning of the century. More like towards the end of the century for Willow Creek.
Ouch. That was unkind. Possibly true, but unkind nevertheless.
A picture of a barn in the fog. I don't think the sun ever shines here in Hicksville.
Covered?
I don't think that's part of the exhibition. Cleaner, a mop, brush, cloths, soap, and glass cleaner. What should I do with that? Cleaner.
Okay, so it's the same. So nothing in there right now, at least. Possibly later. I obviously don't know if this is even going to happen. Could be totally off. And it might not ever happen. I have a tiny feeling we could end up back in here at night. Break in, like cut the alarm or something and break in here and look for something at night. Maybe at that point we'll use... I don't know. Very possibly no, though, also, right? I have no idea. But that's a thought I had. It was maybe if we break in here later, we'll use something like that.
There's just that big book in the cabinet. What does it say on the plate? Gordon Family Chronicle. Hey, that might be interesting.
But you can't use it right now. Oh, or can we read it? Oh, we can read it. Well, we can read the one page, I guess.
This page is full of medals. But there's a bit of text there, too. And therefore, our brotherhood should operate in the spirit of this great man for all time. It shall serve beyond the dominion of the church, free of all the conventions, and over and above all earthly jurisdiction. Commit yourselves only to your one aim, that you may take control of that higher power. Our great strength lies in our secrecy. We stand in the darkness, in the shadows, and look into the light, invisible to all who may impede us. For if no one knows we exist, then we cannot be stopped. Therefore, my brothers, hold to these rules. The members of the order shall not be known to one another. Only the high priest of the order shall be able to call every member by name and rank. At order assemblies, every brother shall be masked so that none may recognize him. No outsider may be informed by the order, neither purposely nor through carelessness. Be wary, my brothers. Behave inconspicuously, but be wary. The day on which you must prove yourselves will come sooner than you think. Not very fruitful. I still don't know what the Order's aim is, but it seems to be one single big aim. It's gotta be on the pages before these. I've gotta get that chronicle somehow.
So maybe we do get in here later. We're already in trouble while we're here, right? Maybe not. I can't use that. I don't think anything else is going to work. Obviously, the key to our room in the sanitarium converted to hotel is not going to fit here. So
The lock for the cabinet. The lock for the...
okay. It looked like even where the screws were, it still just said lock, so I'm assuming we cannot use the butter knife on that. And even if we can later, that's fine. We could always try again, but I think the fact that it all said lock probably it means that we're not really going to. So, display cabinet, cupboard, sure.
I'm not sure if this chair is supposed to be for exhausted or knowledge-hungry visitors.
Exhausted. I need to take a load off.
It's certainly not sturdy.
It's probably super old is probably why.
What does it say here? The death bell of Warm Hill Church. I guess the church doesn't exist anymore. Otherwise, the bell wouldn't be here. An ancient sewing machine. I bet they sewed the curtains here with it, and then just left the thing standing where it was.
Huh. Alright, well, that's going to do it for today. We made quite a bit of progress, I think. We did everything... We with your reminder help, Kissa, which I appreciate that. We got the copper wire, made the directional thing, pinpointed Darren or Boris's yacht. We went to the yacht. We escaped getting hurt. We had the subsequent death of his mom and Angelina leaving and getting apparently captured or kidnapped or whatever. Then we got to the hotel, the sanatorium converted to a hotel, did all the stuff in there for now, at least that we can figure out to do. And then we've gone through a little bit of the town. and this part of the museum. So I think that's pretty good progress. So we'll go ahead and leave that there. There's so many ironic, funny things. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, so that is it until later. So 7.5? 7.5, somewhere between 7 and 7.5 hours. And we'll be streaming tonight. Thanks for watching. So the rest of this weekend and next weekend are the last streaming. The weekend after, we will not stream because the Tuesday after that weekend will be the Hallow stream. Look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks for stopping by, Silhouette and Kiss It. I'll talk to you guys soon. Till next time. Peace.
Poor spider.
This freaking boy. Oh, that's so sad.